On November 2nd and November 16th, the Planning Board continued to listen to resident feedback on the proposed development of a child care facility at 1688 Central Avenue that would accommodate 115 children. The two hearings centered around the future traffic effect on the neighborhood, projected by an updated traffic analysis. Municipal producer Yu Xiaowin has the report.
By only evaluating the movement of vehicles at the side driveway intersection, the traffic report presented by the proponent at the public hearing in October gave the traffic flow on Central Avenue a grade A or B level of service with the proposed development during peak hours. Level of service is graded on a scale of A through F, with A reflecting a delay of less than 10 seconds and F of more than 80 seconds. The Planning Board asked the proponent to come back with a corridor-based traffic impact assessment, which would take into account the project's effect on the overall traffic flow through the Central Avenue and Charles River Street intersection. At the public hearing on November 2nd, the proponent presented an updated assessment that concluded the proposed development of a childcare facility would have no essential effect on Charles River Street and would only have a modest effect on Central Avenue northbound traffic. The only significant effect from the development would be on Central Avenue southbound during the evening peak hour, prolonging the delay from 1.5 minutes to almost 2 minutes, and increasing the length of queue by 2 to 3 cars. The assessment also showed the delay on Central Avenue would become significantly better by optimizing the signal timing at the intersection, but the timing change would also make the delay on Charles River Street worse. Neighboring residents were worried the cars brought in by the childcare facility would exacerbate the difficulty of getting out of their own driveways and cause burdens on other roads in the neighborhood.
There has been nothing mentioned about the driveways and the neighbors and the people on Country Way, how they're going to get onto Central Avenue.
You need to come, please. I implore, please just come and sit in my driveway and see how long or what the traffic situation is.
What I see is going to happen is already happening is cars are going to divert to the side streets like Fisher Avenue and cut through South Street into the neighborhoods. It's going to make the neighborhoods unsafe.
Safety was another concern that many attendees brought up because of the condition of Central Avenue, a main commuter road in a residential area with limited sidewalks.
I have 3 little children. I live on a street with, I think there's 15 little kids who live on Oxbow. There's little kids all over. There's at least 2 school buses to Newman between the Country Way neighborhood and my neighborhood. There's kids everywhere, and it's just not safe on or near Central Avenue.
The neighbors also advocated for the demolition of an existing barn on the site to push the proposed building as far back as possible and to produce a longer driveway. The developer stated with the current proposed 64-foot setback and a drop-off lane that can accommodate 10 cars, parents' cars would not overflow from the driveway onto Central Avenue based on an average 1-minute pickup and drop-off time.
In the current design of the facility, there's a 10-vehicle drop-off lane, and there's also more than enough parking in addition to the staff parking that will be used by staff vehicles to accommodate the additional 7 vehicles in that particular window. And that's if they all arrived at the same minute, which they don't.
However, the neighbors believed the problem was underplayed.
There are conversations that need to be had with teachers. There are young children that need help in and out of car seats. There are belongings that need to be transferred. And it just doesn't happen in 60 seconds. I think that was a gross underestimation.
The developer Needham Enterprises LLC also refused to tear down the barn, stating its future tenant, the Needham Children's Center, would need the space for storage. In addition, Evans Huber, the attorney of the developer, asserted the board had no authority to remove the barn because of the Dover Amendment, which exempts the use of childcare facilities from local zoning bylaw, but can also be ambiguous when it comes to how far those exemptions extend. At the meeting on November 16th, Huber and board chair Paul Alpert discussed a daycare facility application that the Canton Zoning Board of Appeals denied. A Needham resident submitted information on the case to the board days before the hearing as evidence to prove the board's jurisdiction over such cases. But Hilbert and Alpert expressed different understandings of the Supreme Court's decision on the appeal of Cannon's denial.
That decision was appealed to the Superior Court. A few months after it was appealed, the court remanded it back to the Zoning Board of Appeals with the instruction that the Zoning Board of Appeals in that case had two alternatives. One was to approve the permit with the conditions that had previously been agreed to by the applicant, and the other was that the court was going to approve the permit with no input from the town.
The judge's decision on the joint motion to remand the matter back to the Zoning Board of Appeals. And I'm going to read exactly what's on this piece of paper. It says the joint motion to remand this matter to the Canton Board of Appeals for further consideration is allowed. It was a joint motion. The matter shall be remanded to the board for further consideration in accordance with the board's rules and regulations. That's all it says. It does not say that the judge would, if the Board of Appeals did not grant the relief requested, that the judge would just allow it.
The public hearing will continue on December 8th. You can go to needhamchannel.org to watch the previous meetings on this project. For the Needham Channel News, I'm Yu Xiaoyuan.
Some neighbors of 1688 Central Avenue believe Select Board Chair Matt Borelli and Design Review Board Chair Mark Glusing's involvement in the project has violated the state ethical law. Borelli is the manager of Needham Enterprises, LLC. Glusing is the architect of the project. Two residents, Maggie and Joe Abruzzi's, filed conflict of interest complaints with the State Ethics Commission and requested the Planning Board suspend the site plan review process until the Ethics Commission made a decision. Last month, the Planning Board hired a Worcester-based attorney, Brian Falk, to provide an opinion on whether the board has any legal authority or obligation to suspend the public hearings. The board recently published the result of the independent review, which finds the board does not have such authority or obligation. The review also pointed out if the State Ethics Commission finds a violation that has substantially influenced the action taken by a municipal agency, they may request the State Ethics Commission to avoid, rescind, or cancel the action. The commission may also impose a $500 to $25,000 fine on the violator.